Hello, good morning, and welcome to another day as a full-time UK reseller. Today is a Tuesday. I've only got 2 orders going out, but they are some absolute bangers. I couldn't resist whacking the camera out, recording a video for you and show you exactly what sold. But not just that, I'm going to show you a few things that I've picked up from the charity shops over these past couple of days, this past week, that didn't make it into videos. A couple of them I tried to film, but I just haven't got the angle right. So I've actually ordered a chest mount for my phone to slot into it. And that way I can start to record some vertical reels of me outsourcing in charity shops. I can also put it horizontal and just record a whole video of me sourcing and then have both of my hands free, which is going to be such a luxury when I'm actually out in the wild, sourcing, trying to pick up some gems, some bangers for you guys at home. So before we get onto those sales, I'll show you this thing first. This here is a Bowden coat. Now I did pay up for this. I paid £12 for this coat. Bowden is a size 12, so I thought it's not too bad of a size. It's not too small, it's not too big. It's about that mid sort of size that sells in women's for me anyway. I do tend to find that like 16, 18 to 20 size stuff sells a little bit better, but I still haven't become an expert with women's sizes. Anyway, this coat, it's a special one because of the pattern on it. So the brand, I was like, yeah, it's a decent brand, Bowden's good. But then after checking the style, it's like a padded coat with like London Parliament beefeaters on there. This one is listed up at the moment for £39.99 on eBay, not my listing. There's another one listed up for like £36, not my listing. There was one sold for £29.99. So I'm going to go in the middle, £34.99. And then hopefully we get the sale because we've got the best quality listing images and the nicest price. But let me know, is that something you would have picked up? Would you have looked past that? Would you have looked at it, seen the price, and then thought, no way, I'm not grabbing that? My thinking is, if it's an item that is sort of rare and it sells because of the style, I might as well pick it up, try and make some money on it, at least double my money after fees. But if clothing's not your thing, don't worry, I got you, man, I got you. Over this side is our backlog of stock. We've still got shoes for days, wicker baskets with some stuff inside them, Scrabble in there, another wicker basket there, some bicycle helmets in there. We got this retro steering wheel. I got that from a car boot sale. I think I paid £3 for that. It sells for like 25-30 quid. I found this in the charity shop for £2.49. Very sort of incriminating name there. It's a wild doggy! Hey, baby, you're a good girl. You're a cutie. But back to what I was saying. This Rowney Stay Wet palette for acrylic painting. I thought I'd look this up because I was in there. It was all in the box and everything. £2.49 paid. It is basically just some Polly Pocket style sheets that go together. You put your paint in it and it keeps it wet. It's all brand new and sealed inside. This set sells for around 30 quid. So, yeah, I was a bit surprised by that. Especially just for some plastic sheets. Mine do have a little bit of like color damage to the outer plastic, but that shouldn't make one bit of difference to the actual item itself. Now you may have seen this next one featured on my Instagram story. If you're not following me on Instagram, why? What are you doing? Drop me a follow on Insta. Keep up with all the behind the scenes going ons. But we picked up this guy here. I paid £3.99 in the charity shop for this one. It is like the horse from Toy Story, but as a little rocking horse. And then you can also like press these buttons and flap this down, and then you can wheel it around the house as well, or around the garden, whatever you want to do with it. But I paid £3.99 for that one. There's solds of this guy for like 55 quid, 60, even £70. He's definitely a bolo. Keep your eye out for that one. If you ever do see him out and about, pick him up. There's some guaranteed profits. And I'll show you something I got from Vinted, actually. This one is a banger. Now, you may have seen me picking these up recently, but God, check this out. Nickelodeon members only jacket, windbreaker jacket, big members only on the back there. You got Tommy on there. This is so nice, like Rocco. All of them on there. It's hooded as well. I'll show you the label so that you know what you're looking for. This is members only Nickelodeon collaboration. There's a bunch of members only stuff. I think like Paul de Pasquet or I don't know, some artist called Paul. He has one. There's the members only thing. There's the Nickelodeon ones. There's the Keith Haring ones. There's probably more, but I just haven't learnt those ones yet. But I've been picking them up for like 10 quid, buying them for about £10. They sell for like 35 up to 50 quid on eBay. Another vintage snipe, and shout out to Luke Warder's Clobber for this one. I was watching his video where he was packing his orders. He had like a £1.5 grand weekend worth of sales. Absolutely insane. You're smashing it over there, mate. But there's always something to learn when you're watching someone. Whether they're 10 steps ahead of you, 10 steps behind you, they've probably got some sort of information that's working for them that you've never considered before. It could be a brand, it could be a process, it could just be a way of thinking. But this time I was able to learn a new brand, because I've always just passed off Superdry in the past. But Luke was talking about and showing how Superdry, the Rookie, is like a really good like niche within a niche. So I started to look that up on Vinted and see if there was anything I could find. And what do you know? We came away with a Superdry Rookie Edition military issue bomber jacket. And it's a really nice one with all the sort of like badges and stuff on there, like all embroidered patches. It's got like a little bit of the sort of wear to it, but I think that's actually just the style of the jacket. It looks like it's sort of waxed. But this one, it sells for around 35 to 45 quid. I think you could sell it. I could put it up for like 49.99 and try and hold out for a buyer. But if I go a little bit less, I think I can sell it a bit quicker. So that's my plan. Try and flip it from £5 purchase on Vinted into £40 on eBay. Now, if you're into your 90s nostalgia and more like growing up through the 2000s and all that jazz, like I had all the hand-me-downs from my older brothers from their like stuff when they were a kid in the 80s. I was given that in the 90s, so I'm like technically an 80s hand-me-down kid, but officially born in the 90s, raised in the 2000s. I'm sure there's many of us that are like that. But the thing that I found was awesome. It was a Beyblade Metal Fusion carry case stadium. So this stadium, I'll get it out for you. So this stadium, it has these like little clips on the sides. If you like clip these things up, you can, have I done that right? Clip them up, fold this open, and it becomes a portable stadium for you to have your Beyblade battles in. And then they threw in a load of Beyblades with it too. Now, I don't know which ones are valuable, which ones aren't. I'll do my research on those. But the actual stadium itself, just on its own, sells for around 30 to 40 quid. So I imagine if I include some of these Beyblades as a bundle, I could be asking 50. But I could also just like sweeten the deal, still price it at 40 and get it sold nice and quick. The bonus for this as well was it was in the charity shop for £2. That was the only hard good I picked up at that time. Everything else from that haul was all clothing. There's some like G-Star Rule in there. We've got some Alessi. There's some like Fat Face in there, but this is like a really unique sort of Fat Face thing. I did actually find like a banger. Like, you know me, I don't know my football from my head to my thumb. But still, I found this absolutely banging Manchester United top. Long sleeve, the Red Devils down there. Apparently this one's like 2006 to 2007. Paid £10 for him. But I think he sells for like 35, 40 quid again. So should be good on that one. The other one I really wanted to show was actually this jacket here, because this was a learning lesson for me. I was looking at this jacket, and normally I look these over, but I hardly pick them up because they've got to tick so many boxes for me. But this time I had a look in here and I saw woven in England by Moon and immediately knew this was worth picking up. I think it doesn't even matter what brand it is, as long as it's this, you're good. So it's actually just an M&S luxury tailored pure new wool blazer, but the fabric woven in England by Moon shoots the value of this guy up to like a £50 jacket. If this wasn't there, you're lucky to sell him for like 15, 20 quid on eBay, I reckon. Maybe a 30 because it's pure new wool, but yeah, when you see this Moon thing, definitely pick it up. And I only paid £6 for that blazer. There's also like a Gant shirt in there, a vintage Nickelback album shirt, some Yves Saint Laurent shirt. There's a Weird Fish macaroni knit. There's more. There's so much more in there. I could just be here for days going through all these bags full of clothes, coats, jackets, jumpers, all ready for this Q4 winter season. And another bag of shoes, of course. So you can clearly see I've got a nice healthy amount of backlog to be working through, some recent charity shop pickups. The sourcing is going well. I also have this stack of clothing, which is my next sort of to list in the clothing section. So I've got that jacket there. This is all my men's bits going up. These are my women's bits over here. I got some bags, and then I've got some kids bits in there, but it's mainly like football kits and stuff. And then this was my sourcing most recently yesterday. Found like this padded kimono thing. It's just a denim co on the brand, but it's because it's like a padded kimono was what's going to sell it. New brand for me, NYDJ jeans. Not just any jeans, but when they're like the slimming, stretch, shaping fit. And then the fact that they're floral jeans is why I'm going to pick those up, because that's what sells them. There was also these, again, like M&S trousers, but they are the moleskin style. They're not actually like a mole's skin. It's just cotton, but the way the material is to feel like moleskin. There's like a gilet in there. We've got ski trousers. I got to show you this thing though. This is so nice. I lost my head a bit when I found this. Now, it's not that it's like the most insane brand ever, but I was in the shop about 15 minutes before it closed, and a guy had just come downstairs and added like 3 things to the men's. I think I picked up all 3 of those things in that bag, but this was one of them, and I didn't even have to look it up. I've never seen the brand before. I immediately knew quality when I saw it. This right here, I mean, is very much my style. I would say that as well. That's just a bit of fluff. Get rid of that. But embroidered on the front here was Deal, if you can see that there. And then you've got Deal up here on the zip as well. And when you unzip that, there's like a really nice stripy pattern inside. And then you've got the model and Deal in there. Now these are like a canvas smock fisherman style jacket jumper hoodie thing. Obviously, it doesn't have a hood on it, so it's not a hoodie. But you know what I'm talking about, fisherman smock. And when I looked up the prices, 35, 40, 50, I think some were even going into the 70s, 80s if they were brand new with the tags. This one isn't brand new with the tags. I paid $6.99 for it, and I reckon I could easily sell him for £40. Oh, just look at that. Just look at that. But that's enough for this room. I'll show you what's going on in this room in here. Now you're going to think, what the hell? I thought you already had enough stock, Tommy. Well, I'm here to tell you there is no such thing as too much stock. I have done a clear out downstairs. You cleared out my collection downstairs, thinned everything down. These are all the bits I've picked to resell on. I've already sorted through a load of stuff. It's already up on eBay and on Vinted. There's a bunch of things all in here. That's all my sealed stuff. Like all of these are full. I've made space in a few of them for the rest of this lot to come in. We've got a Sega Mega Drive system in there. A whole load of games to go with the Mega Drive. Got a little ukulele. I've got a bunch of Lego manuals. Vintage Disney puzzles. I've got like the Super Mario Castle, brand new and sealed in there, never opened him. We've got this vintage board game, Shogun. It's like Risk, but an oriental version. That's probably the best way I could explain what that is. Big Rex plushie. Tweety Pie as Robin Hood, a vintage 80s skateboard. We've got this big old guy from Imaginext. His eyes are all still working in there. He was a good statement piece in my collection for a while, but he's just a little bit too big for my liking now. Got some Yu-Gi-Oh tins. I realise I have far too many tins, so I'm trying to sell those off. We've got a PS Vita in there with a bunch of Lego games. And then I've decided to part with my entire Thundercats collection. I'm going to include the comic, the DVDs. I've got the Thunder Tank in the box in there. We've got the Berserkers. I've got like the enemy guys. I've got the little floating trolley spaceship thing. A load of the figures in there. Sorry, it's a little bit dark. But if any of this is taking your fancy, that is an Xbox 360 arcade as well. All in there, still sealed in the thing. I haven't even spoke about this box. This is full of like PlayStation 1 games. These are all Japanese. There's a bunch of like demo discs in there. We've got some PSP. We've got some PlayStation 3. I've got a PlayStation 1 thick one. I've got the PS Vita. Not Vita, PSP. And then there's also like an MP3 player. There's a drum. There's a kalimba. There's also a small PS1 in there. As you can see, there is lots of stuff making its way onto my store at the moment. And my plan was like to sell all of this, save all the money up and buy a brand new Xbox with it so that I can play the new games, because I've been collecting like vintage toys, vintage games and all that stuff. And I do get joy from it. I have some joy from it, but I find I'm just not playing them enough. I'm not playing it enough to justify continuing spending money on it. So I feel like I'd much rather put the money into a new Xbox. Me and Gigi can then share that. We can play games we actually want to play. We can play co-op stuff together. And ultimately, when Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, I can play it day one. Over here, this is my sort of pending card thing. Oh, these are for the eBay business seller meetup that we are hosting, me, myself, and Soonsy Sells Stuff. We're doing like a mystery prices game. So I'm going to take these items in and then people are going to guess how much they think they sell for on eBay. And the closest answer will win a prize. But this is all my card stuff that I'm working through at the moment. We've got like a little bit of Pokemon. I've got a little bit of Yu-Gi-Oh listed. These are all my ones still to be listed here. These were stuff that I was trying to do on Whatnot. But it just wasn't going well for me. And then I've still got a binder, breaking everything. And then I've still got a binder here full of a bunch of different cards. They're not like your typical sort of cards. I'll show you. I know someone was going to ask. These were Yu-Gi-Ohs I've sort of kept for myself to go in my own collection. Just pure nostalgia. Now I keep going through here. Still some Yu-Gi-Ohs in there. And then look at these art cards. They're just awesome. 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 Another sale that literally just happened. It's still up on my screen. This Cristiano Ronaldo, man of the match. He is creased all down the card there. But someone still paid £5 for this guy. And then I threw in this little collectible sticker to go with it as well. Try and get it sold. But yeah, a £5 for that one. And now I can finally put to the test my freshly ordered box full of card-backed envelopes. Yeah, baby. I'm also adding these into people's orders who order stuff more than 20 quid, just as a little thank you. I was doing these as giveaways on Whatnot, but we're not doing Whatnot shows anymore for the foreseeable future. So I thought, why not get them into other people's orders? Make their day. But one of the other things I've purchased to try and like boost up the office, I did restock some Ziploc bags because we were running out of those for our clothing, just for putting any sort of loose figures in them. It keeps them separated when they're in storage. But I have purchased a whiteboard for the office that is going to go over here on this wall, probably about there. I just need to get some nails. Well, it comes with the screws, sorry. I just need a drill to put it into the wall. And then, yeah, once we've got that up, we're going to start marking our like daily targets on there. How many we're listing? Have we met our listing goal? How many have we sold? Keep track of any updates, things that we need to cross over. If I'm going away for the day, does Gigi need to know anything? Vice versa. And then just in general, you may have noticed that the layout is a little bit different from last time. This was over here previously. This was over there. We were normally filming over this way and like filming with this in the background, but I've decided to move it around like this. It's nice and fresh. Sometimes you just need to rearrange things to have a bit of a sense of urgency about you. But this basically made it so that we weren't getting stuck at this doorway. Because, I mean, it's not ideal right now. There's loads of stuff in the doorway. But when this table was there, it means that we were sort of packing the orders and trying to place them here. And then we having to like climb over ourselves to get out of the door. Whereas now, in an ideal world, once this is clear and that's where it needs to go, that becomes a free shelf. We pick all the orders, pack them here, move them over to this one, and then they're ready to go out of the door straight away. We're just trying to make it as easy as possible to get the work done. So that most recent sale, I just showed you the Cristiano Ronaldo card and sticker. Sold that for £5. And then this morning I woke up to this order, which was very, very nice to see. This is those Endura Humvee cycling adventure shorts that come with a belt on them, brand new with the tag. Full price paid, £50 or $49.99 plus the $3.99 postage, and I paid £3 or £5 for these guys in a charity shop in Richmond in London. And then the one you've all been waiting for, a drum roll please. We sold this. This is a bundle of Lord of the Rings chess set pieces that you could only get by buying every single weekly issue magazine that they had. And they would come with all of the different figures. They're like die cast metal in there. They're all in such nice condition. You've got all the like the dark side, obviously, the light side, Gandalf in there. I think it is missing like 3 of the figures, but all of the magazines are there. Basically, all of the figures are there. It's even got the chessboard in there that it comes with. And take a guess how much I sold this for. I had it up for £299. It did make its way onto a 30% markdown sale because I've had this since about a year ago now, just over a year. And it's made me realize, like, sometimes it is just worth holding on to things. I know we want our stores to be like turning over all the time, like as quickly as possible. We want to list everything up, have it sell, replenish that stock, have it sell. And we just want to do that over and over and over again. And yes, I do believe that is the way, especially with things like clothing and the smaller to like mid-range items. But with some bangers like this, is fine to hold on to it for a year, wait for that price that you're looking for, because I have just accepted an offer for £200 on this entire set, plus £20 postage. As I was saying, it did go on to a 30% markdown sale. It went to £224. They sent an offer for £200. I accepted that pretty much straight away. It's got the £20 postage on there as well, because this is going to be pretty heavy with all these magazines in there. But yeah, that is an absolute cracking sale. So on a random Tuesday on eBay, we've just pulled out £282.96 worth of sales. That is better than my entire weekend that just happened. Now I'm going to get these orders packed up. My mum is popping over, have a little cup of tea and stuff for lunch. Then she's going to drop me at the post office so I don't have to lug these things everywhere. Then I've already got a box downstairs with my light box all ready to photograph. With all of this stock sort of injection, we're going to jump ourselves up to doing 15 listings live a day. We're actually processing 20 drafts, like doing 20 photos, 20 drafts, doing 15 live, and then saving 5 for the weekend so that we don't actually have to list anything up on the Saturday or Sunday. And then 10 listings are still going out, basically. We're making this move because we don't just want to be stuck at the like listing 10 a day, potentially selling 10 a day. We're not at that point yet where like everything we're listing is selling. So we were thinking, how do we get to a point where we could have multiple orders and that become like I want to have £1,000 weekend. I want to have a £2,000 weekend. So how do we get there? We have to bulk the store up. We need more items in the store for more buyers to be available to buy items in one go so that we could reach that amount. Because I'm not selling £2,000 to one person. I don't think that's ever really going to happen. Forever, we've been trying to hit 1,000 items listed in the store, and as we sort of get there, we have loads of sales and it trickles back down, and we're moving to 15 because we want to grow the store. We want to reach at least 1,000 items listed, and from there we'll then reassess whether listing 15 a day is too much. Can we get the stock in to keep doing that? So far everything's going great and smoothly. We should be able to hit that. But obviously we just need to keep checking in, hence why we've got the whiteboard, so that we can start to have a bit more of like businessy mind behind us, check in on the numbers, you know, to just make sure that we're moving in the right direction.